Lesson 5, Exercise 1. In Lesson 5, we're dealing with debt, and we want to look at what happens if we borrow some money and then we're paying it off a certain amount per period. We want to see what happens to that loan as we go through time. So we're going to start with the question about Sandy, who borrows $15,000 from a bank at 5.5% compounded monthly, and she's going to pay back $350 a month until the loan is paid off. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to put the values in that we're going to use in this question, and then we can see as we put in the formula, we can see how the numbers change. So Sandy is borrowing $15,000. She's going to be paying back $350 a month. It's 5.5%, and we're paying monthly, so our number of periods is going to be 12. Now I'm going to start off with our end balance in row 0, which is going to be the original amount of the loan. So in here, I'm just going to put a formula, and I just want it to represent that same value that's in F2. So that equals F2, and I'm going to do the exact same thing here at the beginning of the start balance, and the start balance is just going to be the same in year 1 as it is at the end of the previous year. So again, this value is just going to be equal to whatever the end balance is in the previous. Now, to calculate the interest paid is just going to be the principal times the interest. So our formula here is going to be equals, and we've got our principal, which is the 15,000. So it's going to be the number in cell C10. And we're going to multiply it by whatever our interest rate is. And our interest rate is this number, the 0.46. If you remember, we calculated that value before. So it's going to be the value in F6. Now, we are going to be cutting and pasting this formula down, and we always want to take that value out of F6. We don't want that cell to move relative to where our formula is. So we're going to lock it by using our dollar signs. So we can see in the first month that $68.75 of what she pays is going to go to interest. Now, the principal that gets paid off is going to be what's left over after the interest is paid. So it's going to be found by taking our payment per period, just the $350, subtracting from it how much we paid in interest. Now, the D10 is always going to be taken from the cell directly to the left, so it's going to move as we copy and paste that formula. But our F3, we always want it to be F3. We don't want that to move. So again, we need to lock that one with our dollar signs. Okay, so what's remaining out of the $350 is $281, and that's going to come off the balance of the loan. So our end balance is going to be our start balance, take away whatever the principal that gets paid off is. Okay, and if all is correct, our end balance will be $14,718.75. Now that we've got all those formulas in there, we just have to do a fill down, and I'm just going to fill it up to 12. And if you notice, I've just put a little lock. I have frozen the header row up there so that we can always see them. So at the end of the first year, Sandy is still going to owe $11,538.61. We can continue that whole thing down if we wish to see when the loan is going to be paid off. I don't know what that's going to be, so I'm going to go way down. Oh, okay. So if you can see it, period 47, so after 47 months, Sandy still owes a little bit of money. After the 48th month, so in 4 years, she'll have that paid off, and she won't quite have to pay as much money for that period because she doesn't need to pay the full $348 to pay off the rest of the loan. But it will take 48 months to pay off that loan.